I think everybody knows which young player on the Seahawks really stood out positively this week. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Hope things are better today. Still in that hangover period, but we got to get over it quickly because got a game coming up very soon here, so we got to get through this stuff as quickly as possible. And that means Youth Watch Tuesday is on. And it was a pretty, I don't know, mediocre week for the young players on this team. There was some really good stuff, but there was also some stuff that was pretty forgettable, some stuff that was frustrating, some stuff that was okay. Overall, I still think that there's a pretty nice reserve of good young players on this team, but we maybe would needed a little bit more to win that game, maybe a little bit more, and we get the dub. But that doesn't change the fact that things are looking good for the Seahawks right now. All right, so let's start with the running backs. And I mean, you'd almost forget we have running backs on this team. Ken Walker did have 8 catches to go with his 8 carries, but he was not productive on those 8 catches either. In fact, he was more productive on his 8 carries, which is really, really hard to do. Like, there is no universe where a player should get 8 carries and 8 catches and be more productive on the 8 carries when he wasn't even that productive on the 8 carries. He was okay, but it was actually more efficient to just hand him the ball out of the backfield. And that's not right. Like, it'd be one thing if you were trying to use the check down game as an extension of the running game, but you need that juice to be worth the squeeze. And when you're averaging about 4 yards a carry, like Walker was, and you're averaging, I think, 3.5 yards per catch, it's not. So I don't know if Ken Walker's going to play again this season. Now, I'm not saying that Walker did everything perfectly in that game. He had that one play where he caught a ball and had a free first down in front of him and instead ran right into the defender. You know, that's frustrating for sure, but he remains a very talented, very useful player who provides a lot of positive value to this team. And I just want to highlight here that this guy has an 88.4 PFF grade, and he may end this season with 200 touches approximately and less than 900 yards. This can never happen again. This had better not happen again. You have a player as good as Ken Walker. You do not go through a season, and I understand he missed games, but for a player like Ken Walker to have 200 touches and less than 900 yards, criminal. I better never see it happen again. Period. John Schneider needs to be looking at this right now and be furious about it. Charbonnet, statistically, not a lot going on here. I think he had 20 total yards of offense, maybe. Not even, 13. He did have one nice catch on a third down, getting a first down with Yak. But other than that, he didn't play that much, honestly. He didn't do anything wrong. He just wasn't on the field very much. And hey, Kenny McIntosh got some touches in a game where we could have just decided to keep him on ice. We decided not to. And there were problems with Kenny McIntosh, but he was fairly productive with the ball. He is probably one touch away from a 100-yard season, which, given how little he's played, would be something. 29 yards in this game total. So that's your running backs, which gets us to the one guy who really, really was a gold star player in this game, JSN. And I think that I don't need to say too much more than that. We all know how good he was in that game. He's been good in basically every game ever since that Rams game. That Rams game, he drops that pass, creates that interception near midfield, bounces off his hands, and he just decided, you know what? No more. No more. I'm going to be the guy that everyone thought I was going to be when I got drafted. Period. Not messing around. And it's great. I love it. I mean, imagine where we'd be without him. So if you count the rushes, you're at almost 100 touches, over 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns now, 83.2. And remember how mediocre his PFF grades were early in the season. Nothing for Derek Young. Jake Bobo had 1 catch for 6 yards, so he broke 100 yards. Cool. But we are a long way away from where we were last year with Bobo. I don't know if he just doesn't fit. I don't know if he just isn't any good. I don't know what it is, but he's an older player. This kind of regression is concerning, and he's just doesn't seem like he's a part of the plan here. And AJ Barner made a great catch for a touchdown in this game. Should have been the game-winning touchdown catch. Didn't do a ton in this game, didn't play a ton, but showed some real ability on that play. So, credit where credit's due. He's coming along here, and he'll probably end up with somewhere around 250 yards, 30 catches maybe on the season. Not bad for a rookie who started the season as tight end 3. And next year we're going to be expecting a lot more of him, and I hope he can keep up. There's still holes in his game. I think his PFF grade reflects that somewhat, the limited route tree and some of the blocking issues he's had, but things are coming. Offensive line, and this is a tough one, but let's maneuver this. So let's start with Charles Cross. He's kind of the guy that I think there's a lot of discourse around right now. We're trying to figure out what is Charles Cross, how good is he, and what should we be thinking about him. So 7 penalties, that is definitely something that stands out to me as something that needs to get better. But I look at these pressures, and I guess Charles Cross leads the league in pressures allowed, or he's like second or something. And some people are looking at that, and they're saying that, oh, he's not good because he gives up a lot of pressures. So I looked it up. Charles Cross has 42 pressures so far this year. He's played every snap, by the way, except for 3 against Green Bay in garbage time, I think it was. So he's played the whole season. I looked up Penei Sewell, who has 24 allowed pressures. And Penei Sewell is considered by many to be the gold standard at the position right now, the best left tackle in the game. So Charles Cross allows just under 3 pressures per game, right? That's what we're looking at, 15 games in, 42 pressures. Okay. And Sewell allows about a pressure and a half a game. So Cross allows a little less than double the number of pressures that Sewell does. Sewell has an elite offensive coordinator. He has elite teammates along his offensive line. Just an elite offense in general. An offense that is balanced. An offense that is capable of maintaining balance throughout the entire game. Charles Cross has one of the most pass-happy teams in football. I think we're like 3rd in the league in passing attempts this year. He doesn't have very good teammates with him on the offensive line. I know Laken Tomlinson has been kind of steady, but he's not really good. And don't get me started on some of the other guys, right? There's been no continuity up front. There's been no ability to establish stability up front. And we have no balance. And we're extremely predictable in how we throw the ball. So, to me, is it not fair to say that the extra pressures Cross is giving up are because of that? It seems to me that if Cross was in Sewell's situation, you would probably see a similar number of pressures allowed. And if Sewell was in Cross's situation, you would see these many pressures allowed. Probably. So Cross is working with an extremely high degree of difficulty right now. About the only thing he has going for him is that he has an offensive coordinator and a quarterback that at least try to get the ball out quickly. But there is a lot working against him right now, from the players he's playing with to the offensive coordinator he's working with, the fact that we are so predictable. Some people have said that we pass 90% of the time out of shotgun and run 90% of the time out of under center. So that's how I feel. Still playing really good, still having a good season, still excited to keep him around for a long time as a Seahawk. Oluwatimi allowed 1 pressure. I think it was on our last offensive play of the game. Grades are okay. Again, I'm so tired of eating the rotten cheese on these players that are okay. And Oluwatimi's one of them. I'm sorry, but to me, he's like playable, and you could probably get away with having Oluwatimi as your center if you had 2 really good guards and 2 really good tackles. But as for him actually being individually good on his own, I'm just not sure I buy it. Lomia, I mean, to me, it's a similar thing to Oluwatimi. He'd be better if he had better players around him, but what we have with him is so forgettable that I don't know what this is worth. He allows 7 pressures after allowing 10 pressures the previous week. He's got another penalty. His run block grade is bad, and his overall grade is beyond abominable. Like, this is unthinkable to be this bad as a right guard, the easiest position on the offensive line to play. So, I mean, again, you're going to give him time. You're going to give him a better situation with better teammates, and you're going to hope he gets better. But right now, he is scraping the bottom of the barrel. There's no other way to put it. Abe Lucas picks up another penalty, allows 3 pressures. Again, I don't think that's a capital offense. The penalties are getting frustrating, right? Like, Abe Lucas has played far less football this year than Charles Cross. And Abe Lucas has almost the same number of penalties as Cross. So, 7 penalties in a 15-game season is bad. 6 in, what are we dealing with, 6 games? I think Lucas averages a penalty a game is yikes. PFF grades, mediocre, workable, but I was hoping for a little bit better, but we may not be able to address the position that much in the offseason. We might just have to let it fly next year with Lucas and hope he gets better. Okay, we're going to the defense now. There's not much to say. Byron Murphy recorded no stats. He didn't play badly, but he did also commit what I would consider to be the most costly mistake of that game. I think that if he doesn't grab Darnold's face mask, we win that game. That was a 25-yard swing. That turned a 3rd and 19 into a 1st and 10. And the Seahawks did not really have a positive moment at any point after that play. So it's frustrating. It sucks, but I'm not here to drill a guy who's a 22-year-old. He's a rookie. He's still going to be a good player in this league. He already is a good player, but it's a frustrating learning moment. Linebacker Tyrese Knight, I thought played pretty well. I think he had 8 tackles in this game. Nothing too radically stand out, but he played pretty fine football overall. PFF grade was good in this game, and overall it's still okay. He's way ahead of where I thought he would be. Life's good with Tyrese Knight as far as I'm concerned. Boye Mafe and Derek Hall, they each had a tackle and they each had a sack. Again, not the monster impact in this game I was hoping for, but they both contributed. Derek Hall would have had another sack if not for Trey Brown being stupid. So, I mean, that's certainly something, but we didn't get the big leap from these guys. And Derek Hall, I mean, we did get the big leap, right? Because last year he did nothing, but Mafe looks not that different to me from the player he was last year. He looks better, but I don't think there's some next step that he makes into stardom at this point. He still has time to prove me wrong, though. 1 more year left on that rookie deal. We'll see. But Derek Hall, the fact that his PFF grade is now basically at C level, and I'm not saying PFF is getting everything right with him necessarily, but to me, this does kind of highlight the fact that he is becoming a very one-dimensional player. He's getting to the quarterback fairly well, but the run defense is a problem. Cornerback, Reek Woolen did play a good game. He made several pass breakups. I think PFR gave him 3 breakups on this game. A couple of tackles. PFF grade was up. Coverage numbers were good. Again, the last touchdown was not really on him. Witherspoon also played a good game, picked up 6 tackles, made a pass breakup, and didn't give up a ton in coverage. It wasn't his best game, but was fine. PFF grade went up. Trey Brown, he did make 4 tackles in this game, which that's a lot for a guy who didn't play that much, but I mean, we all know what he did that really left an impact on that game, right? You know, he committed a really bad, stupid, careless penalty, and then he gave up a touchdown on the next play. I don't want to kill him for giving up a touchdown to Justin Jefferson, but you got to kill him a little bit when we're only on the field on that play because of his really careless penalty. And safety, Kobe Bryant was fine, I guess. 4 tackles, nothing really too stand out here, but he was adequate. Still like what I see with him. I didn't see his name called that much in this game, but I don't think he did anything wrong. I think he was steady out there, and there's something to be said for that. Can't quite say the same about Julian Love, who's the veteran in that secondary, right? He's the elder statesman. And he made a game-swinging mistake in the 4th quarter. All right, I'm out of here. See you guys later. Go Hawks. There's some good stuff here, but wasn't quite enough to win, and we all want to win.